What's up guys, another cold day, another ranking list. Today we'll be ranking the best IEMs at around $350, sales included, and I will not be talking about the Estrella, but aside from that, let's just get into it. Starting with the best all-rounders, here we're looking for a set that is well balanced, not too much bass, not too much treble, with the vocals positioned at a nice distance, and when it comes to the versatilities, we got two sets here. For the first one, if you're looking for the purest Harman IEM, so like the closest to the Harman target, then go for the IO Sogno. It's pretty much literally the Harman 2019 target. It has a well-balanced sound, amazing packaging and accessories on top, and these drivers are well implemented. On the other hand, if you want something a little more different but still following the Harman DNA, then the SIMGOT EM10 is a more exciting version of the Sogno that has a little bit more treble, a little more bass, and a little more detail, slightly more V-shaped version of Harman. But if you do find those not bassy enough and you just want more low end, more impact, a little bit more thickness to the sound, but still pretty like well balanced, then you got the Zens T-Pro and the Hype 4s. Both of these are bassy boys with equally great low-end texture, one of the best under $500, but the main difference is that the Hype 4 is smoother in the treble, it's a little bit quicker when it comes to the attack and the decay in the low-end and the transients, whereas the T-Pros have a thicker, slower, and heavier slam and tonality to the bass, and just like a little bit more bite to the notes when it comes to the upper mids and the treble because of the nose drivers. On the other hand, if you don't like that much bass but you still want a all-rounder sound but just cleaner but without going like completely flat neutral, then I would recommend the Pilgrim. The bass isn't as deep as the T-Pros and the Hype 4s, and in general it just doesn't have that much bass, but it is still very spacious with great mid-bass texture, and although it can be a little bit thin, I do think if you're not gonna mind that if you already prefer that clean and leaner sound profile. Now, I would have also recommended the Dusk in this category because my second units sound just as good as the Pilgrim. They're fairly similar when it comes to tuning philosophy, but due to unit variations, I can't guarantee everyone will get the version I got with my second unit on my Dusk, which is why I'll include the Dusk here as an honorable mention. But in terms of technical performance, it's very close between the IEMs from $300 to $400. They're all in the same tier to me, but I will give the slight edge to the EM10s because it does squeeze out just a little more detail in the treble and the air from its like 10 drivers, which it does have a lot more drivers than the other ones, but very close. Like we're talking maybe 5 to 10% difference at best. This transitions nicely into our next category, the best value IEM, and we have two IEMs here. So first, if you just want like the most detail, like the most technical IEM, it would still be the EM10s, and since you're paying around the same price, it just edges out the Dust, the Pilgrim, and the other stuff just a little bit. It's also more versatile as an all-rounder because it is more Harman than the other ones. It has the upper mids filled in more. But the second one, if you want like the best overall experience, I would actually give this to the Pilgrim. You can get the Pilgrim on sale for around $360. It has better build quality, the design is better, the overall like unboxing experience is better. But I do want to point out that there are some quality control issues with the Pilgrim. A user on my Discord channel, his Pilgrim did like die or has like a severe channel imbalance. Next, for the best all-rounder vocals, so not too light, not too husky, well balanced, not too forward, you know, we have the Softwares Studio 4s. The Studio 4s isn't gonna wow you when it comes to the vocals. It's very neutral, it's very monitor-like. It's just a solid vocal set that does nothing wrong. However, if you're looking for something like lighter, sweeter, more laid back, better for female vocals when it comes to like J-pop, K-pop, then I would go for either the Pilgrim or the Dusk. Both of these are pretty close when it comes to the overall sound signature. However, the issue with the Dusk is that there's unit variance, and then the Pilgrim does have some QC issues. You know, so kind of pick your evil. On the other hand, if you listen to a lot of male artists and you want like something heavier, something fuller, but still well extended in the vocals, then that's where the T-Pros come in, giving you that full body, heavy note weight to the notes, while still having some bite to the vocals, still feeling open and not congested. And speaking of warmer and bassier IEMs that's got a lot of low end without going like bass head levels, we have the ZGOT Dashinkos, which has that heaviness and quantity to the bass while not sacrificing the texture and the balance. But also keep an eye out for the upcoming Fat Freak HPB Deuce, but we don't know how long that's gonna be delayed for, so honorable mention. Now, if you want something even bassier, so we're going into bass head territory now, the best I've heard, closest to $350, would be the Fat Freak Maestro Minis. It's got a crap ton of low ends, sounds like crazy, the subwoofer sound, the texture is great, but the treble can be a bit hot and doesn't scale as well as some other stuff, but it will be more than enough to satisfy your bass head cravings. I mean, just look at that bass shelf. However, on the opposite end of the spectrum, if you don't prioritize vocals or the low end, but instead you want the most neutral IEM you can get, then go check out the Performer 8. It's as flat as they come, very clean and laid back sound, and you're gonna really enjoy these if you like a dead neutral signature. On the other hand, if you're the opposite of neutral and you want the most dynamic, engaging, exciting, head bopping sound, then do I even need to say it? EPZ 530. Now I know it's not quite $350, but it's the closest you're gonna get around this price without me talking about the one that will not be mentioned. Basically, the 530 is a slight V-shaped sound, very engaging, contrasty, good treble extension, you know, slightly lively when it comes to the higher end, pretty solid when it comes to the mid-bass texture, but just not the same impact and, you know, rumble from a dual dynamic driver. But if you're looking for a treble headset and you're looking for a lot of treble, you know, you want that sparkly, sharp pinpoint playback in the highs, then you can try the 7Hz Aurora. It's definitely not for everyone by any means. Most people will find the Aurora treble to just be way too much, like just look at the graph, right? But we are talking about a treble headset that is going to be more exciting, more bright, a lot more livelier, so just a heads up. I also want to give an honorable mention to the Sivgon Nightingale because when you get a unit with less treble, the overall sound feels very airy, spacious with the sharp OCD imaging, and the treble is like sizzly, but the energy is perfect, just like riding that fine line of being just a little bit too much. However, if you get one with a bigger peak with a lot more treble, then yeah, GG. And then if you want something airier and smoother but still want a little bit more treble than normal, then I would recommend trying the EM10s. Now it does have a slight PZT timbre to it, but the PZTs are pretty well implemented, and I think most people are actually going to enjoy the treble on the EM10s since it is pretty smooth, pretty airy, and very detailed. Now as for the best planar, my favorite would actually be the less treble version of the Nightingale, but for most people, I think the better planar overall would be the Ledger S15, which is just better balance, it's smoother, it's less offensive, you can say, you know, it has less planar timbre, and it just follows a cleaner and more well extended, more well balanced sound signature. You're not gonna find it offensive, maybe even a little bit vanilla, but the overall refinement is still the best I've heard for a planar at around $350. Then lastly, scaling wise, ironically the Explorer still scales the best under like $350, but sound wise the Zen's T2 is more complete and extended, still very immersive, even though you can't crank them up as much as the Explorer. But hey, if that's a trade-off for, you know, better vocals and technicalities as well as like saving my ears, right, then I'll take it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm not gonna mention my favorite IEM because we all know what that is already, the Dusk. But aside from that, thanks for watching guys, and I'll see everyone in the next one. Shout out to Roark's Cat, Dom Q, Star Buccaneers, This Call Scottus, Beat _ Urak, Mystic Spoon Attack, Oh Really, Walker Standard, User Ernest, Patrick, Bell Cell Kel, Polly J, Mr. Gorillas, Anton Risto, Gis Seng Young, Tamat Pat Fache, Ed Dunlap, Christopher Jackson, Name, Henry Claudia, Son of a Horse, 777ZK, Ben Thompson, Franco Gomez, Asher, Jab, Obi, iComment87, Contain Guava Juice Gains, Treble Well Extended, Wizard, Yan Yan, and Frickalicious. Thank you guys so much.